Hey folks, Wally DM here. Just a reminder that the Journal of Puzzle Encounters is up for 2 awards, Best Electronic Book and Best Book Supplement. In the description and in the pinned post, you're going to find a link that'll take you to the website so you can cast a vote for the Journal of Puzzle Encounters, and I would sincerely appreciate it. You only have a couple days left. The voting is going to end Friday, August 27, 2021, so I hope I can count on you for your vote for the Journal of Puzzle Encounters. Now let's get started with our puzzle video. Hello there, adventurers, and welcome to Wally DM. Today our adventuring party is seeking out a teleportation circle that is buried in a dungeon. They need to find it in order to obtain an artifact, but they have no idea how to get there. Lucky for them, a mysterious individual, whether it be a hag or some other type of hero or villain, hands them a scroll, and on this scroll is a map of where they need to go. Now they do say that the map is the key to the teleportation circle, and then wish them good luck as they head out on their way. Now the interesting thing about today's puzzle, it actually comes to us from a video game. This is not one that I created, but this is one that I've seen in Silent Hill Homecoming, and I thought it'd be a lot of fun to add this Penitentiary level or Penitentiary Riddle level to a Dungeons & Dragons or a tabletop role-playing game. So I hope you like the way that it's transferred from the video game and onto the battle mat. Now, one of the neat things about this puzzle is I actually recorded this 3.5 years ago in February 2018, but I decided not to use the footage. So today I've got a brand new setup. We're going to use some black lights, and we're going to take this video game puzzle and we're going to present it to Dungeon Masters to use in their D&D games. So I hope you like it, and I think we're going to call this one the Necrotic Lever. So in this puzzle, our adventuring party enters a room set up kind of like this. Now, in today's video, I thought it'd be a lot of fun to play with black lights and things like that. So it is a little bit dark, and you don't have to do this, but if you want to provide a little bit more atmosphere, then that would be pretty cool. Now, the room is going to be dark, except for this glowing pillar that is in the middle of this room. And this pillar is filled with necrotic energy. It is filled with the glowing souls of the dead. Now our adventurers were previously given this scroll, and inside this scroll is a map, and they follow the map all the way to the area where they need to go. They need to find a teleportation device or a portal that's going to lead them on the next leg of their journey. Now they did find this portal. It is actually right here, but it is not active. So now they need to find a way to activate it. So now the players are probably going to be able to figure out that this pillar in the center of the room is going to be the key to activating this teleportation device. But if they aren't able to figure that out, then you can allow their characters a DC 12 intelligence check to be able to determine that the pillar is going to be able to unlock the portal, and they'll be able to journey on after they do so. Now, as the characters take a look at this pillar, they're going to see a number of things. The first thing they're going to see is on the front side of it, they're going to see a square box or opening. And just above this square box or opening, they're going to be able to see a lever that is sticking out inside the nebula of the lost souls or the souls of the dead inside. So with an easy DC 12 investigation check, they're going to be able to determine that in order to pull the lever, they're going to need to stick their hand into this box and pull the lever. However, if they do so at this point, the lever is not active. They can stick their hand through there. So let's say our monk comes over here, sticks her hand inside this square hole or box and tries to pull the lever. She's not going to be able to do so, and instead she's going to take 2d8 necrotic damage for every few seconds that she leaves her hand in there. Now, as our adventurers continue to look about this square pillar, they're going to see 3 different dials on each of the other sides. So we have this side, the back side, and this side over here. And the 3 dials are going to look like this. Now, for the demonstration purposes of this video, we're going to say that the notch that indicates where the dial is set at is going to be at the top area as seen here. So currently in our position, we have one of the dials that is set to what looks like a chess piece or a pawn, a fork, and a clock. And our characters can freely turn these dials and set them to where they need to be. So now we have all three of the dials, and we can once again allow our characters an investigation check. Let's go a little bit easier this time, perhaps a DC 12, and they're going to be able to determine that if they set these levers or these dials in the correct position, then it should be able to allow them to safely stick their hand inside of this pillar and be able to pull the lever. But what settings for these three levers are the correct settings? Now they're going to need a little bit more information than what we've already seen, so we need to remind the players that the quest giver or whoever gave them this scroll with the map on it told them that this was the key to open the portal. Now the characters probably did follow the map to where they needed to be, but they are stuck at this point not knowing what to do. Now if the players don't figure it out themselves, then we can allow our characters another intelligence check, and I'll let you set the DC at this time, and on a success they're going to be able to determine that if they were to flip this map over to the other side, that this nebula of necrotic energy and the dead is giving off this glowing light that surrounds the entire room. In fact, you can describe it as a black light. That would probably be good. And then our characters can actually see words on the back of this scroll. So now if you're playing online or you don't have magical pens that will allow them to be able to use blacklight to see the words on the back of the scroll, you can simply give them a handout and they can determine that there are 3 riddles on the back of this map. The first riddle is as follows. I stand beside the holy man. The monarchs fear my wrath. None may move the way I can, ever the crooked path. Now this riddle here is a chess riddle, and taking a look at our dial here, they stand next to the holy man, which would be the bishop. So next to the bishop is either a king, a queen, or a knight, and then the crooked path would indicate the L-shaped movement of the knight. So this dial here is going to need to be rotated to the knight. Now as our characters continue to look, our second riddle goes as follows. The man who devised it does not want it. The man who bought it does not use it. The man who used it does not realize it. Now this is going to pertain to our second dial, and that answer is going to be the coffin. The man does not want to have a coffin. They probably never seen the coffin, and they're probably using it and they don't realize it because they are dead. So the second dial here needs to be rotated so that the notch is pointing towards the coffin. And our third and final riddle goes as follows. What man loves more than life, fears more than death or mortal strife. What poor men have, the rich acquire, in all content men's desire. What misers spend and the wastrels save, and each man carries to his grave. Now this is a little bit of a longer version of a riddle, but the answer to that is actually going to be nothing. So this dial here is going to have a blank spot, and it is going to need to be rotated to the blank spot or nothing. And when the characters do this with the 3 dials, then our monk can once again try to stick her hand into the pillar and try to pull the lever. And when she does, our portal is going to activate, and then our characters can travel through the portal and continue on with their journey. So that is the necrotic lever, and it's also known as the Penitentiary Riddles, and you can find that in the video game Silent Hill Homecoming. And I think it makes a perfect transfer from video game to the D&D or tabletop role-playing game scenarios. Now what we used today were some very simple riddles, and these are the ones that are actually presented in the game, but I think we could make this our own by bringing about 3 different riddles. So I'd be very curious as to how you, the game master or dungeon master, would use this puzzle in your game. Would you use it like I presented it, or would you do things differently? In fact, and in most important, I really want to know, what riddles would you use if you were to run this for your players? Now, if you decide that you'd like to use this puzzle as is in your game, then I'm going to give you access to the dials that I use there. So all you need to do is to download them, print them out, and you can give them to your players. They're going to be in PDF form, so if you want to use them in your online games, that's cool too. Now, for those of you that are patrons of the channel, you're going to get a few things. You're going to get the Photoshop raw file, so if you want to use the dials but change them up a little bit with regards to icons, you can do that. I'm also going to post post a behind the scenes for patrons so they can see how I made this setup with all the black lights and all of the different things that I use to present this on the channel. And I might also throw in a few clips of the 2018 introduction from long ago. So that's all I have for you today. What did you think of the puzzle? Is this something that you could use in your game? And if so, what would you do differently? In particular, what riddles would you use and what clues would you give? And don't forget on your way out to please hit the links in the description or in the pinned comment below and give a vote for the Journal of Puzzle Encounters. I would appreciate that very much. And don't forget that voting is going to end on Friday, August 27th, 2021. Thank you very much for watching, and on to the next.